So for this first line, include iOS string, it will basically allow me to use send and cout. Include string will allow me to use the data type string, and using namespace std will allow me to not constantly retype std : : For this section right here is where I start my structure, and up under my structure will be all of the different variables that will be in my structure, which will be the ID, which will be an integer, the name will be a string, the price will be a float, and the quantity will come in the data type as an integer. Content max equals 20 is me setting my maximum to 20, which will basically mean the inventory cannot go over 20. For this section right here, it will allow me to add new items to my inventory, which this part right here does. If count is greater than or equal to max, it will print out this line right here, which will say inventory is full. This part right here, when it says cout enter item ID, that's basically prompting the user to enter the item ID. And once the item ID is entered, this line right here will be used to store the data that the user gives us, which is the same for all these down here as well, for the name, the price, and the quantity. For void list items, it will actually list all of the choices that you have. If count is equal to 0, it will then go down here and say, no items in this inventory. For this part right here, it will go through all of the items starting at 0. And for each item in the inventory, it will ask for the ID, the name, the price, and the quantity. It will prompt the user to type those in. For void update quantity, it will basically allow you to update the quantity of whatever you are trying to update the quantity of, but you will have to provide the ID, which right here that is doing. For cout enter the item ID, it is asking the user to type the item ID. And then it will, for this line right here, it will basically go through and find the ID of the user it will find the ID from which the user gave us. And then it will ask you to enter a new quantity. And then after that, it will say quantity updated from this line right here. If you enter an ID and the ID is not a valid one, this line right here, cout item not found, it will be used to tell the user that it's no item found with that ID. For float, calculate total value, it is basically asking you to, it will basically allow you to calculate the whole value from the items in the inventory. So for this line right here, float total equals 0. It is starting the total at 0. For this right here, you will use a for loop basically to find the total. So you will multiply the price times the items in the inventory. Then it will add all the price together from all of the inventory items in the inventory. Okay, right here is when I start my main program. So first I started an array, and I made sure I put the max for it to be 20 items to be stored. In size equals 0, I made sure that my inventory started at 0. And then I did a do while loop, which will basically make number 1, add item, number 2, list items, number 3, update quantity, number 4, calculate the total value, and number 5, which would be to exit. If choice is equal to number 1, which is right here, if choice is equal to number 1, if they put number 1, it will say add item. Else, if choice is equal to number 2, it will say list items. Else, if choice is equal to number 3, it will say update quantity. Else, if choice is equal to number 4, it will say calculate total value. Else, if choice is equal to number 5, it will say buy because they will choose to exit. If they do anything else other than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's what this line is for because it will say the choice is invalid. Then if choice is not equal to 5, the while loop will be finished and the program will be finished. Thank you.